Daniel couldn't breathe. The photo trembled in his hands. Taken in 2013. 10 years ago. And somehow he was in it. But that wasn't possible. He wasn't even a nurse in 2013. He was still in high school. He checked the date again. October 31st. Timestamp. 3:11 a.m. 1 minute before the time the deaths always occurred. And that's when it hit him. Every patient death. Every whisper. Every hallucination. Every missing file. It all centered around that exact minute. 3:11 a.m. he tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was doctored. Maybe Helen planted it. But the photo paper was brittle, faded, real, and on the back, a handwritten note. 7th must return before 8th begins. His hands went cold, because the folder, the one marked Do Not File, had a second document. A transfer request for him.to room 6B, permanent assignment, effective immediately, signed by Helen, dated 10 years ago. Daniel didn't sleep. That night he went to the hospital. He had to see the room again. One last time. It was quiet. 3:06 a.m. he stood outside the door, the hallway buzzing with fluorescent hums. Inside, the bed was made. Fresh linens. Empty, like it was waiting. He stepped in. The door shut behind him, and wind. No one there. Just the silence. And then his pager buzzed. Room 6B, code blue. He checked the board. No patient assigned. And yet, the monitor inside the room began to beep. A steady rhythm. A heartbeat. But the bed was empty. And on the monitor screen, a name appeared. D. Whitaker, Daniel's last name. Then the lights flickered, and the walls began to change. Not melt, not bleed. Shift. The paint peeled back, revealing old wallpaper. Hospital tags from another era. Names. Evelyn, Monica, Rami, Helen. And then Daniel burned into the wall and read. He turned to run, but the floor gave way beneath him. Not literally. Time. The hallway warped. He wasn't in 2025 anymore. He wasn't sure when he was. But the walls were cleaner, the lights warmer, and down the hall, a young woman, wearing an old-school nurse's uniform, all white, hair pinned tight, clipboard in hand. She turned, smiled. Evelyn. You're late, she said softly. We've been waiting. Daniel stepped back. Who are you? He whispered. What am I? Evelyn's face darkened. You were always the 7th Daniel. You just forgot. The hallway behind her twisted, revealing beds. Patients. Doctors in coats from another century. None moving. All staring. Every eye fixed on him. The room began to pulse. Heartbeat sounds getting faster. And louder. Then a whisper in his ear. You die here, or remember why you came. Daniel's vision went black. When he opened his eyes, he was lying in a hospital bed. Room 6B, hooked up 2 and 4, monitors beeping. And beside him sat Helen, reading his chart. Welcome back, Daniel, she said calmly. We lost you for a moment. He tried to sit up, but his body wouldn't move. What's happening to me? She smiled. That's the thing about ghosts. They don't always know they're dead. Daniel couldn't feel his arms. He couldn't feel anything. But he was awake, at least. He thought he was Helen's face hovered inches from his. She didn't blink, didn't move, didn't breathe, just watched. You're adjusting, she whispered. It takes time. Time folds differently here. He tried to speak, his lips wouldn't part. His tongue felt like ash. Helen smiled. Don't fight it. You asked to come back. The lights above him flickered, not with electricity, but with memories. His father, dead from a heart attack. In a hospital. Room unknown. His mother, dementia. Institutionalized. Same hospital. Different year. Daniel blinked. The ceiling morphed again. Now he saw himself as a child, hiding under a bed. Room number on the frame. 6B. The past wasn't behind him. It was beneath him. Buried in the linoleum floors. Helen spoke again. You weren't recruited, Daniel. You were returned. The walls around him began to whisper. Dozens of voices. Some crying. Some laughing. Some begging. And one voice, his own, whispering a number over and over. 8, 8, HT8. Helen walked toward the heart monitor, turned the dial. The beep slowed. One beat every 5 seconds. That Daniel's vision blurred, but his ears stayed sharp. She leaned in. 7 were meant to hold it back. A cycle, a seal, but now 1 is missing, and the 8th must replace it. She reached into her pocket, pulled out a badge, Daniel's hospital ID, except the photo was wrong. He looked older, pale, and in the background, room 6B. Dark. Empty. Waiting. Helen pinned the badge to his chest, and the second she did, the 4-line went black. Thick, viscous, like oil. Daniel gasped. He could move again. But the room was gone. Now he was standing in a hallway made of mirrors. Dozens of versions of himself, each one wearing a different expression. Some screaming, some lifeless, one smiling. He ran down the glass corridor, and at the end, a rusted door. Engraved on it, just a number. 8. He opened it, and inside was a bed and a patient, hooked to machines, face obscured by a mask. Daniel approached. Something told him he had to look. He had to see. He pulled back the mask, and the face underneath was his. Older, sicker, eyes open, staring back at him. And then it spoke. Help me remember before the 9th wakes up.